Right, Jeff, here we are back in your workshop for the start of yet another vlog. And on top of that engine is my head, which is here for some...
I've got to set it up because it's been welded, one of the cam cap bolts.
It's been damaged.
It's not got a flat bottom in it. So what we have to do is set it up and use a 6mm or 5mm two-fluted milling cutter to go down to clean it so we can get it central.
Yes, because they're all those cam cap.
Well, actually, it's going to be threaded 6mm. So, well, if we put a 6mm in, as long as we cut it so it faces it, and then we can put a centre drill in then to.
But you're not just doing one, are you? Doing all of them? All 16.
I've got to drill two. Two have been welded, so there is two to. Yeah, these two on this side here.
Yes, but I think you're going to helicoil them.
Yeah,
all.
but them are Les. If he wants to do them, they're ready to do just with the tap, and he can do them himself.
So why are you borrowing my head then on that engine? What are you doing today?
Well, what I did was, crazily, it's been something on my mind. What was the red barrel?
Oh right, okay, yes. So if you went back and looked at you look at our previous video, this was anodised red, and you'd done some milling on the sides.
Put some thin, just to get. It's surprising how much weight.
Yeah, and we left you. With it being red still, and I gave you some caustic soda which would lift off.
And it's done it.
And it's done really well. Okay, good. So it's now on the engine.
And it hasn't damaged the cast iron. I was worried in case it ate into the cast iron, but it's not.
No, for the liners.
It's been okay.
Okay, so go on then.
The problem is now is the barrel's on the right way. It's... The snag is, it's been made so that you can only reverse the head.
So you can't have it as a standard.
This is now how the head would be.
Normally, yes.
At the back, and this is the way we've designed the comp bike.
Yes.
The spares bike.
Spares bike. Yeah.
Okay, the comp bike, spares bike.
Oh no,
whatever.
No, spares
anyway,
bike.
And if you, I don't know if you can get the camera in. If you look down there now,
I can try.
The head on the right way.
I don't know you'll be able to see.
When there's a gap there where the head overhangs.
Okay. Right there.
There.
Oh yes.
There's about 2 or 3mm gap.
Yes. And that's bad, is it?
Yeah.
It's bad because...
It's bad because...
Hang on, let me get my camera. Because... Is that because that barrel's been made?
This barrel...
To suit a reverse head drag bike?
The head was reversed on it, but I'd have thought they'd have made it so that...
It can go either way.
It could have been used either way, but they've not.
So you can't?
So we can't. And I don't want to start having bits bolt...
Okay, so that head, that block you can't use.
That block now is going to be awkward to use, but not only that, the cases I can't use because the cases have been bored to suit the big liners in this.
Right.
So now we're going to have to change
everything
to another set of cases.
Yes.
And go back to the 1260 kit, whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
But didn't you say you had this mad idea to build a road bike with a reverse head?
Exactly. So now,
that's going to be
this now is going to have to be the basis to do the road bike.
Right, well that may or may not ever happen. I mean, you're like me, Jeff, you have too many projects.
I've got too many projects, too many things I want to do, and
no money.
Not enough time and money to do it.
Well, right, so that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah, so...
Have you got a spare set of cases though that you can...
So basically, that head really is, it should...
Go that way.
The barrel's been made so that the head fits on that way.
So the carburetors or injections on that side.
The superchargers at the front.
Yes.
And the exhaust come out the back. Unfortunately now, to start modifying everything now, to put the blower at the front and well, we're going to run out of time.
But I'm looking at this now. You've got 1, 2, 3
barrels.
Barrels, sorry. So couldn't one of them?
Yeah, we can use one of these.
Yes, good.
Which means now I've now got to get all the liners machined.
Yes, to fit.
To do it, whereas this is already done, and it was saving time and money.
Right. Okay.
For the moment.
Oh well. These things happen.
Unfortunately, it's not a problem. It's just
more hassle.
It's just set you off in a different direction where you're going.
Okay. Right. Okay. I also see you've been digging out more covers, aluminium one-off covers that's down there behind my bike. So let's go and look at that. Right, okay, so come round now and we've got that plate with a clutch cover on it.
Yeah.
So where's that come from, Jeff?
Originally, do you remember the bike at the workshop at Thingy?
From about 10 years ago.
You've owned half of.
Yes.
that we've got half of.
Yes, somewhere.
The one that's got many bits.
Yes.
Well, that is the plate. I mean, I've made that up since, and it's all sat there. It could be turned into a bloody wonderful project, but it's finding someone who'd ever take the damn thing on.
But isn't that going to be basically
that? Yeah,
that's a drag bike again, isn't it?
That's your original engine mount there, but it was extended because I can't remember why now.
Oh well.
That's it. Because when the shaft comes out, we had that 2-speed gearbox on the side.
Right.
It was like a 2-speed overdrive that was fitted.
Yeah. Now, just to go back a bit, about 10 years ago, that was the bike that basically that ended up being.
If you've got some pictures of it,
I've got some pictures somewhere.
Some pictures of it.
I'll see if we can dig them out, and we'll put them up now so people can look at what
Longshore Street.
Yes,
you can see it on the bench with the reverse. If you find the pictures, that is where that.
Right, okay, I'll try and find a picture of it from about 10 years ago.
That,
I'll put it now. Oh, hang on, what's this?
That is amazingly a that was the plate that went on the output side, and it had a cylinder bolted to it with a 2-speed epicyclic box.
So was that the gearbox? Where did the gearbox come from? Was that a?
It was a cut down Miller 3-speed.
Okay, it's one of your weird one-offs. Yeah.
The bits are still sat up in that casing up there. Okay. It's now back as a 3-speed.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, anyway, if people want to buy a very.
But that really now, what I looked at and how we ever got there, it's been modified and knackered.
Yes.
And because you weren't running anything of the original selector drums or arms or anything, if we actually look at this as a what do they call it? A symmetric, is it? That would go that side and that would go there.
Right.
Well, if you like how it's happened, that lines up. That lines up because I've modified it, but these two back mounts are completely different.
Okay.
And if you're making you don't want. So I've decided.
I see. You want to make another one, don't you?
With that piece on there is to make another thing.
Okay, another thing. But these parts are for a bike that doesn't exist anymore.
That basically.
It's in 1,000 pieces. It's been recycled. Yeah, it's been recycled.
Unless you can use any small bits of aluminium
which you can't.
Off it, which is going to be very difficult.
So what did you have in mind then for this then? What are you going to do with this? Why have you brought it out from its?
Well, because we were doing them others, I just thought I'd make another end casing for it.
Okay.
And on that smaller piece, that is what I was doing the other day. That could go back on, just run like a thingy box and a shaft in it.
Right.
That would go opposite the shaft, and then that would bolt on there and line up with.
Okay.
No, we wouldn't be. No, we don't really need. Yeah, we could run a. We could bolt that onto there, and then that'd line up with that, and then you've got your back mount.
Jeff. Didn't you just say to me a minute ago that you've got too many projects and not enough time or money?
Well,
so this is a project that hasn't been touched for 10 years. That bits of it have been recycled, reused elsewhere. I mean, there's no frame for this, is there now? Where's the frame gone?
No, there's no frame.
No frame.
Well, basically, it was sat in this, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was basically the first version of that, basically, from 10 years ago that we ended up just throwing away most of it and then starting again.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, so if anybody wants to buy some bits of an old Kawasaki drag bike, then you know where to come.
Yeah. Anyway,
okay. Okay.
Stay there.
There you go. Look, mate, it
so
looks nice.
that was
very 80s with its ball milling and whatever. Very 80s.
Eh?
Very 80s.
Well, it takes out a fair amount of weight.
I know.
And
you like doing it, don't you? You like ball milling things.
Well, it's not only that. It's depending on what equipment you've got. It serves the same. It does the same job. I mean, people like milling sections out, and that looks very good. But the hours of work.
Oh, yes.
That takes is. You know.
Right.
I always think with ball grooves in it, it looks billety.
Well, yes, it does.
It's just, you know, it's like the barrels. Someone was saying, like they look right, the grooves. But each to I don't like that where I've gone through.
No, you're a bit too far with that.
It looks like a railing fence or something, you know. Something like stay out or something. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, anything else going on at the moment, then, Jeff? Before we stop and grab some tea?
Not really. No. Other than getting on with your
things, my stuff. Yes,
which I really need to get cracking on with.
Yes, you do. Anything else, Jeff, while we're here? Don't think so.
Not really.
Okay.
Not really got anything else to report for the moment.
Okay. In that case, we'll end it there and we'll come back next week. And now here we are back in the shed again, because I've just popped in to drop off some bits and bobs. And I see, Jeff, you've now bolted your sort of one-off clutch cover and plate to that engine. So what's that for? Just to see how it looks?
Well, what I want to do, funnily enough, that one. Like Blue Peter, this,
yes,
isn't it?
that's one you don't like,
isn't it?
isn't it?
Earlier, yeah.
That's one you don't like.
That originally.
Oh, it goes on that side.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was designed for that one, that cylinder thing.
Cylinder thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
That we would
Different
put that
gearbox.
2-speed
Yes,
box
which we
thing
didn't use in the end. Yeah.
on the side. So, and because I've drilled that to get some weight out of it, that's pretty much useless. And
yes.
There was a few faults anyway when we've done it.
So your idea was to make a new
when this
version of
goes
that.
on, even if it was usable, somehow these two holes here don't match them two.
Okay, which is not good.
Which in the big thingy realistically, it doesn't cause a problem, because as long as the engine mounts are welded on to suit, it doesn't matter.
Oh, so you weren't planning to put a bolt all the way through from left to right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're setting something up, you don't want to be having odd mounts on it.
Okay, so what's the plan then? You've now bolted that on.
We've got to make one of these anyway. So what I wanted to do was bolt a fresh one on, and then hopefully transfer the positions over.
Yes. Make a bit line.
To the new plate.
But just to remind you again, this is for this engine was for a bike that no longer exists. The frame no longer exists. So what's going to happen with this? You're making all these plates again, but for what purpose? Because there's no bike for it to go into. There's no frame.
Well,
you can build a frame. I don't know.
Future,
oh, in the future, one day.
It's just while I was doing this milling, I thought,
okay.
And drilling.
So it's a future project that might or may not ever.
It's something that, well, who knows?
Well, who knows? We'll be dead one day. That's what I know. Right.
So that's just sat there for now.
Right.
It's just on the back burner.
On the back burner. Okay. Okay. So talking about back burners, then we went through your engine over there and the way that the block can't be used because it's only made to go with a reverse head.
One now.
So
I thought we were winning for a bit.
No, no chance.
You've got to, unless you start putting a piece on the front, a little piece, and then having it skinned.
No.
It's going to have to go on something that you're going to reverse the head on.
Okay, and then next to it you've got another engine.
That's the spares bike.
Spares bike engine. Okay, which is not reversed head, but is in fact supercharged.
Yeah.
So we'll come to that another day.
That's the one that was originally going to use with the 1260 kit.
Yes, and in fact,
which we still can.
In fact, that's the one where the frame's just outside. I just brought you some extra primer to paint it with. So hopefully we can make some progress with that soon. And your hand was resting on a much more important bit of kit, which is my head for my Z project, which I believe you've just finished doing some work on it, some repairs.
All the 16 cam cap bolts have been helicoiled.
Yes, and repaired.
Well, it's had 2 welds done on it, and then I've set it up, re-drilled 2 of them.
Yeah, I think your list was going to do it, but I think you've done it for him, haven't you? So.
I think ideally you need a pillar. Well, you need something like that miller there. You can actually clamp the head to.
Yes.
You can centralise each hole with a little tool in the chuck.
Yes. And then
clamp the head down. It's fixed solid.
Okay.
And then you can do them.
Right. Okay. It's done now. Yes, that can go back. That said, of course, the head then has to go off to have new valves, seals cut, and God only knows what else. It needs a lot more work yet. So there's no rush for that. And so, Jeff, here we are back in your workshop, and you're telling me you've been quite a busy little bee this last week or so. You've been working on the Zed covers for me and for yourself, but you've also been busy working on. Where's my finger gone? Working on. That.
I made a new plate for that.
And
used a piece of the aluminium.
Yeah, we talked about this last time.
That was a spare outrigger cover that I thought.
And what's that made for? That's not made for.
That's done for Kawasaki.
Is it?
So, yeah, why?
It does look like one made for Kawasaki.
Yeah.
Is that because you've not shaped it yet?
No, it will.
Oh, you haven't shaped it yet? Okay.
I've not shaped it yet.
Okay.
I've made a little cap and bought it for the... While I've been doing other things, and you've had all these, it's so easy just to pop it in and do things.
Yeah. Okay. So once again, then this is the engine that came off your old drag bike from many years ago.
This was originally in that.
In that thing over there, would you believe? And it got changed over many years ago.
And that's all changed.
And we were talking about how you're not quite sure what you do with it, but it seems like a waste just to leave it sitting here or in the back of your shed.
Well, there's everything. There's a reverse head. There's a supercharger. There's forks. It's virtually a complete bike. If you made a frame, but at the end of the day, who's out there who's going to want to take on something like that?
Who knows, Jeff? Who knows? If anybody's watching this wants to, then call Jeff, not me.
It's a worrying factor if there's anyone as mad as me out there who wants to do it, you know.
Right, okay. Well, maybe when you finish that, and all the other things you're doing, perhaps you can come back and do this.
Insane. Well, it's there. If you notch away and do little bits on it, and you do end up making a frame, you could sell it as a project.
Perhaps, yeah. I think most people want to have something that works, actually. I think
they
want
do,
a running
what
project.
A lot of people might want is if the hard engineering's done.
Yes.
Now, like you say, getting something painted and...
Well, making a frame's quite hard engineering, isn't it? From scratch.
Making a frame and it's all the engineering stuff, but getting something painted and actually physically bolting it together, I think there's a lot of people that's capable
Even I could do that. Even I could do that. Right, okay, and you've also seen your hand, you've got
these are the
something you've been working on.
Actually, while we're here,
yes,
this is our mandrel, because when you're doing work, I didn't want to grip it on the thread in the lathe.
Right.
And we've just threaded that.
So remind people, what is this thing you're making here?
This will...
It looks like a giant screw to me, but there you go.
Well, what I didn't want to do was thread the block, because anything... It means you can't get the... if I go and grab one of the stainless steel... Okay, yeah. So what we're talking about here is the cam chain adjuster, or a cam chain adjuster, which you've made your own version. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's come around here a little bit. The original block that was on this had it threaded in the block, which it limits you. If it goes wrong, you can't... You're screwed, yeah.
Okay, so you're...
Through the middle now, that's 10mm thread. Are we
yeah, we're filming
it.
Yeah.
What we're going to do... Watch this, it probably won't work now that you're filming it.
I'm sure it will.
Well... But it's a 10... Oh, it's just... Oh, it has. It's just gone... Snagged a little bit. Anyway, that will... We're welding the nut on there, and then what we'll do is we'll probably just dome it in the lathe and polish it.
So that's the bit that'll press against you.
So that will go in there to push on.
Yeah.
That will screw in.
Permanently, it won't come out.
No, it will come out.
It could do, but you're not going to be able... it won't be being
I've got to work the length of this out yet, because what we're going to do as well is bolt that in in our clamp, and mill a hex on that,
so
and get them blue anodised. The thread will come out here with a two nuts on it that will be locked, or one. Two locked on with another lock nut, so then you can actually turn it and tension your...
Okay. So once that's in place then, Jeff, once it's screwed down...
Once that's screwed in,
it's going nowhere. It doesn't get unscrewed when you adjust the...
No, it's
only the inner 10mm bolt that gets screwed in, okay.
Yeah. You could have just put a 10mm thread in the block, but then if you lock... I think then to get that in, you're struggling, because if you've got to weld one end, it means then you've got to put it in from that way.
Yeah, you don't be doing that.
And then you start... It's
awkward.
It's very, very awkward. So there's a lot of work doing that, but it's a lot easier.
I see you've made about 4 or 5 of them, have you?
There's a couple made for...
Let's have a look.
Various bits and bobs.
There's a few there, look. 1, 2, 3, with maybe 6 or 7 blocks ready to go. Okay.
These are the ones that are going into the drag bikes, and even this eventually.
Yeah.
But these actually... There you go.
Yeah, I'm filming,
yeah. What I've done is made them...
Let me step back a wee bit, Jeff.
There are some... Yeah. There are some for the GPZ and some for a Z.
Right.
Now the different
mounts,
centres.
Right.
So, but what I've done, rather than trying to make what we've done with them, I've threaded them 7/8. Oh, hang on, we've got one that I've drilled actually. So
well, you've made one for me as well, for my bike, for my engine.
Well, you can use one, yeah.
Good.
There is the GPZ one, yeah, so we can fit one in. What we're doing, they're 7/8. That's got the 10mm thread drilled through it. We're going to screw them on and lock. What I want to do is screw them on.
Yeah.
Dink. I'd like to machine that then flush.
Yeah.
Machine this and round them off.
Yeah.
So
then that's Loctite.
I'd like to get them anodised.
Well, you can do that. I'm sure
But the thing is, if you
what colour you want?
if I Loctite them in, I'm wondering, will they anodise it with being 2 parts?
I think if it's the same material, it's no different, is it? Because anodising, you just put it in a bloody
60,
different.
Yeah, I'm wondering if they anodise it, will it affect any Loctite or will it
No
go
idea.
funny?
No idea. I think heat is the thing that affects. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the best thing to do is to make one. There's a place in Runcorn. Nip and ask them if they say, "Oh, it won't be a problem." Because like I say, what I want to do is screw them in tight and then machine that.
And what colour will you do it?
I think they look good blue.
Blue. Okay.
Anodised blue.
All right. Whatever.
Well, if you want one, you can have.
If you like one, it will be done in ceramic black, I think. In ceramic anodising, rock hard.
Oh,
to match the engine.
Well, you could. I don't know.
Something that small shouldn't cost much.
So like say, they'd be made in 2 parts.
Yes, yes.
But like,
can't you make it in 2 parts, then get it anodised, and then put it back together again?
Yeah, but then the only other thing I can do is tighten them in. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, because that'll only have a nut on it up to there.
Yeah.
So really, if that face, even if it pops through a little bit more, or it don't quite pop through,
doesn't matter. With
a washer on it, it's not going to worry it.
No.
But I'd have to make sure each one was
right. Well, we can find out. We can find out.
What we'll do is...
I think with anodising, so long as it's the same material done at the same time, it'll look the same.
Yeah, but if
you've got different materials, it'll look slightly different shade or whatever. So.
They might say if you Loctite that in and machine that flush and do your work, we can do it.
Yes.
Well, they might say it won't be a problem. I don't know.
We shall find out. We shall find out.
We'll find out.
Right, okay. Also, on a slightly different or a very different note, Jeff, I see you have now wisely destroyed that CX500 that was here. Because there's the frame there. It's all been cut up.
Do you know something?
Best thing to do with it. And out here, if I go out into the here, what we've got here is the remnants of a seized up CX500.
No, it wasn't seized up.
Was it not? I thought it was knackered.
Do you know, actually, it's...
There it is there, look, there's a
some of the parts are in very... Some were completely buggered, and some of them are pretty...
Not too bad.
Quite useful.
Well, the whole bike was horrible, wasn't it?
The whole bike was a mess.
Yeah, look, horrible thing. Don't like it.
So I've took the gearbox out thinking it
might come in handy.
Well, I don't know. I tried to have a look, see if it would go into a CB72 if there's any way.
No, it's shaft drive, isn't it?
No, you can actually. But it's got an output shaft.
Okay. So about that frame then, Jeff. That's the remnants of the CX500 frame.
Yeah.
And you're saying that it's quite similar in style or design to a CB77, 72?
If I can just... Yeah, I mean, I've not cut a good frame up because, in fact, the swinging arm had rotted through.
Yes, it was an old thing.
And part of the frame that come here, where it just gone.
Yes.
You could just literally crumble it with it.
Yeah,
this main beam...
Top beam, yeah.
Yeah, is okay. These tubes did come a bit further, but I cut them off. What would be nice, a CB77, 72 does have a tube, not as big as that, maybe only 2 inch, and then it has a tube coming off and one there with a mount on it. But you could actually make some nice aluminium plates to come off there to pick up off the engine. Extend these, and bring them out. Take 2 off it up and 2 round and bend and re-weld. So basically,
you could possibly reuse that in a CB.
You could use the CX loop to virtually copy and
CB
to a degree.
But isn't it very heavy though? I mean, compared to it's not too bad.
Once you've got the back end on that, your frame, I bet it's not even going to be about 10 kilos.
And just to remind folks then, what is that for, Jeff? What was the future project?
Well, because it's cost me nothing, hasn't it? Really?
I know. But the point is, of course, you got a logbook for it, and
I've got the logbook. It's
a Honda CX500, and you can reuse it to make a Honda 500 something else.
Well, I've got the 500 motor that I hopefully take out to 500.
Yeah. But there'll be a CB77 based or 72 based.
Yeah, it's got. That's why I was looking at the gearbox to see if it had graphed in.
Yeah.
because the cases have been done to fit the 500 crank in, but it's the gearbox that you're going to have problems with.
Okay, well.
But that'll
be a
wait there.
A future project one day, perhaps. On the bench, I see.
I'll put that down because that's what I've just threaded.
You're working on that.
Yeah.
Is my
stinker WD and
oh dear. Is my clutch cover.
Clutch cover that you've just wiped off that I've put my greasy hand on now.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
You were saying the space you had to make up the difference of clearance for the clutch isn't quite there yet. You've got to do it.
No. What happened is because you're doing it on the jig and you've got to tap it and get it round.
Yes.
The loop that bit's not bad there, but the bit
it's
here
out,
and that bit there, it's maybe about 1 millimetre proud.
Yes, it just needs to be.
It will jiggle with the. What I'm going to do is bolt them
together,
and then what I need to do is just find.
Oh, just hand.
Oh, hang on. Actually, I think it's that one that's the worst.
Yes.
We just need to file it and then go around with some wet and dry.
Just clean up a little bit, yeah.
To do that by hand and get them both
identical.
A lot of.
So since what's here then, you've now beveled the top, which is great, and you've also flattened both sides.
I've milled the two sides off.
Yes,
we've got our little oil level plug-in.
Compressor oil level, not the cheap one, not the one I bought, which is stupidly expensive.
£3.25, I think.
Yeah,
or was it £3.50?
Yeah, I paid £15.
It wasn't about £3.50.
Yeah,
I don't think it was
not quite.
Much more than that.
It's not quite been fastened in yet. It's a little bit proud, so that's okay. We'll get that flush.
Made in the land of the irate people, I think. Then
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. Right, yeah. We've got a little bit of marks on that top, so we can just get skimmed off.
Unfortunately, when we were marking it, I did put a dot mark there so I could work them out when I drill them.
Well, to save me a lot of time, we're just going to take that off and skim it.
That with a 10 thou fly on,
fly cut,
leave it bolted to that. I can put it in the lathe and I can take a nice cut off that.
In terms of adding the word Kawasaki to it, or adding DOHC to the points cover, I've been investigating options. And there are quite a few options actually.
I think that would look good with Kawasaki milled in it across there.
Indeed, well milled, but there are other ways of doing things. There's something called, get this right, copper phosphate etching. Another kind of etching where you actually use a battery charger, use electricity along with some salt water. Yeah, use salt water. But what you need for that is a very good sort of stuck-on template to keep the water off the bit you don't want to erode.
Right.
I've not found that yet, but that's something I might have a little experiment with. I might get some bit of spare aluminium, have a little play, and hopefully not electrocute myself.
Right.
But we'll see.
Anyway,
but if that doesn't work out, okay, we can just find someone to do some proper.
But before we do that, the most important thing is that there's a little job that I knew I had to do,
which is,
and that is if we spin it round.
Yes.
It's even got your name on it.
Got my name on it. Yes.
Where I'd machine these out on a different PCD.
Yes.
It covers a little sight glass hole there. So what I need to do is
just
to set it up and try and do that on a miller. It'd be easier just to keep to file it out.
Yeah, just file it out.
As long as it's clear and there's still enough gasket face there.
Well, to be fair,
it's so that the oil doesn't get trapped.
Yeah, it can still get in there, can't it? So.
It can get in.
Oh, but it can't get out.
But it can hold oil in, and you'll think there's oil in.
When there's not.
So we need to clear that so it drains out.
A good point.
That is a very good
important factor.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got to do that.
Okay. So apart from that, you're happy with that?
But
I'm pretty happy with that,
apart from that little bit of linishing just on them there to polish it in.
Yeah.
I think mainly all you'll see basically once it's on is them three and maybe just that. That's
right. So having seen that, then let's now turn around and see how it looks on an engine, because we've got two here.
Well,
I've got two behind me, which are on the.
This is a spares bike one. I've actually done a bit of milling on that to tidy it up.
Okay, let me go turn around and we'll see that. Right, Jeff. So yeah, we've got one engine over here, which is a spares bike.
It's a spares bike
with the.
That's got the 8-inch diameter.
Yes, which is more room for
the clutch. Actually, depending on what we do with it, will if we extend it, can come out into that.
Yes. Okay. So no clearance problems there. So it's also got that cap on it, of course, the outer cap for access. Yeah. Okay. Looking good. And then next to it is one more sort of bit like mine, which is this one here.
That's virtually the identical to what I've just done for you. Yeah. And you can just see even that there, because I made them back plates all together. It's just got that step on them.
Yeah, it needs a bit of work.
So that'll on.
Right.
Fettling in.
Okay, looks pretty good. I actually quite like it, just like that. I mean, maybe I'll just leave it without having any Kawasaki on there or something. It looks quite
That's
nice.
entirely up to you.
But we'll see, we'll see. You can kill the lily a little bit, you know, so we'll see. And then over here, if I keep on going,
while I was milling that one and I had the chuck on and everything,
you didn't know
doing that. Well, once you get set up doing something, it's easy.
This is the engine.
This is the engine that was originally in the
Yes, we talked about that before.
comp bike.
That's right. So it's basically an engine with no frame, with no current.
There's a frame. It's just that it's all in straight tube.
Straight tubing. Okay, but it looks pretty good. So we've got one.
It's like saying there's your part in that block of aluminium.
Yes,
You've just got to remove.
3. A man over there in the corner. So I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
And also the points covers are also somewhere nearby.
They're down there.
Down there somewhere. Let's have a look.
I put your points. I put yours in.
Down there somewhere, which we've seen before. Yeah, which
like
we've seen
I
before.
don't know what we're doing.
I don't either yet. I mean, we'll see. Well, actually, it would be nice if I can just see it on the engine that I've got, which is all blacked out.
Oh, right.
It might just look good as it is, you know.
Do you want to?
No, well, you finish off what you're doing with that one, and I'll take it all in one go. I'll also got to polish it, of course.
Yeah, I'll do that, and then.
And when it's all ready to go, we can take it and get it on the engine.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, I think it's time for tea.